Peter Haddock and I'm here with Paul Mortimer at Grist Environmental. Paul, you have two roles here. You're the sales director, but also you're responsible for the site here. And we're doing an awful lot on the site here. We've got the aggregates piece in this section, but I've also just witnessed and seen your waste and recycling piece, where that's further on down the road from here on this site, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. Yeah. The site is a large site. It's about 15 acres altogether. So it's split into two sections. One section that's specifically for the inert screening, so the soil and stone, and the other part of the site is a different permit, but that's responsible for 150,000 tonnes a year. We're permitted to take of all kinds of waste.
Yep.
We're currently running at about 75,000 tonnes on both sites. That's waste coming into us that we're managing, yep. Sorting and separating and sending off for recycling.
So the business has been going for a long time now, and you're actually celebrating your 28th year with the business as well yourself. Tell me a little bit about the progression, and also, when you look at the relationship you've had with JCB, one of the pieces of equipment we've got there, how that's grown over the years.
Nigel Grist started the company 51 years ago. We celebrated our 50th anniversary last year, and we had a big party.
Great.
I started with Nigel in 1996, and it's grown out of all recognition since that time. It's a family SME business. All of Nigel's sons are involved in the business, Adam, James and Marcus. As I said, the business has grown and grown significantly. Now we're at a point where we're turning over about £25 million.
Right.
As I said, handling 75,000 tonnes. Because we're handling that amount of material, it does require the participation and cooperation of a kind of a recognised and approved supplier like JCB. So that's why we need that kind of equipment to move that kind of material.
So you've had that relationship with JCB, and it's an interesting relationship, really, isn't it? Because it not only goes from the machine we see behind us here, but it also goes to how the business and the finances work. Because you're saying you've grown that 25 million turnover. The finances are really important, that you understand how to make a profit out of the investment in equipment and materials that you're coming in here, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. So as you rightly said, that they're also assisting us with finance on certain other pieces of equipment, because obviously we're running a fleet of almost 100 heavy goods vehicles,
right.
And pieces of plant and equipment that are needed to sort and separate the different waste streams that are coming in here. So we need that kind of relationship where we can rely on support and the finance of an organisation like JCB.
And I think what's interesting is, I was talking earlier to you and about the way in which you look at not just the sort of individual equipment. It's almost like a fleet matching, with the crushers, the screeners, and the actual equipment and the attachments as well, isn't it? How important is the sort of expertise you have from the local dealer, Holt JCB, when it comes to what equipment should I be using?
Well, it's absolutely essential to have that knowledge, because we're handling almost any kind of waste material. Some of it does need that expert knowledge of the local dealer. So, we are relying on that heavily because of the volumes of material and the absolute variety that we're handling on site.
And so you're getting advice from them, and then you're getting this sort of whole package as such from JCB Finance. And when we're looking at new equipment that you've come through, you've actually just opened another depot, and you needed a crusher or screener there, and that's a point where you'd normally go and say, well, look, let's find out what the equipment is. But it's also a point where you've been talking to JCB Finance first and saying, look, we need to expand now. How do we mix this into the way in which we do the sort of hire purchase agreements that you've got with them?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a very diverse business that we have. We're primarily a waste management company, and you rightly said we've got multiple sites around the county of Wiltshire. So we do need the support of an organisation that has the knowledge and expertise to deal with that. Other parts of our business where we're doing agricultural cleaning,
oh, right.
We do events, and we need specialist equipment for that too. So it's very varied. So we do rely heavily on the support of Holt JCB.
And so when we talk about you know, looking at a business like this, very diverse business, you've been able to grow because obviously you've been running the business successfully since it started. And so when you look at the cost elements to the business, you've got, I guess, a pot of money that you pay for everything. So it's not just the finance of the machines, is it? It's looking at service and warranty solutions as well that you balloon into that.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, the business plan changes from year to year because we're in an ever-evolving market. We're winning new work week on week, month on month, and year on year. So we need to be able to change direction very quickly. You know, that's the great thing about working for an SME business that's run as a family business, because decisions can be made really quickly.
Yeah.
But those decisions do need information to be fed into the people that are making those decisions to enable them to make the right decisions.
Now, I've seen some waste handling going on in the sheds earlier today, and what was interesting about that is we're talking to the team there, and they're like, well, it's got nearly 9,000 plus hours on the machine, and it hasn't had any major issues. Yes, it's got, you know, the regular service and maintenance and pieces like that. So, you know, you're using that benefit of the LiveLink system that's connected into the Holt team as well to monitor and prevent stuff going wrong and do that regular maintenance, which has kept that machine looking pretty good for nearly 10,000 hours, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. And obviously we wouldn't be using machines that were unreliable.
No.
We need to be running 24/7 on some occasions. So we need machines that we can and know that we can rely on. So that's the reason why we've elected to use JCB.
And the other thing for me was quite interesting is you've decided to use machines for specific tasks, not take a machine like the one behind us and then take it off to do something else. It's doing that set task, so it's got the right bucket for that task, and the attachments for the other machines are doing specific things. That's important when it comes to reliability and also when it comes to the operators, because you've got dedicated operators for the machines as well, which take a bit of pride in them as well, don't they?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, going back 50 years, you know, when business was much smaller, you had to use the same machine for multiple things.
Yep.
But because of the volume of material coming in now, we need specific machines with specific attachments doing specific roles. And like you say, the operators take pride in the job that they're doing. You know, there is some flexibility, so we can move people around, but having that expertise and knowledge of the function that they're doing is really important to getting the job right.
And so we obviously go through phases over the years where this machine will eventually be replaced for another machine, and that cycle goes through. But how does that work when you say you've got to be a bit more flexible? Say you have, you know, you've got more material coming through, you need a bigger machine. How does that actually work when you come to sort of changing it out maybe earlier than expected, or even running machines longer than expected when we have the pandemic? How's that worked when it comes to the sort of flexibility of the finance and support?
Well, I think that's a really important point. Because we are in an ever-changing scenario, we do need partners, suppliers and finance organisations that can be flexible, and that's another reason why we like using Holt JCB.
So when it comes to changing out, it's just a simple phone call and it's like, right, we're ready to change. And it's that point where the team, you've got a personal relationship with the team now for some time. The same person is going to be working with you both from the finance and the Holt. And that's where the sort of analysis comes in, isn't it, between you as to saying what machines are right and fit for purpose. And how does that sort of process tend to work?
Well, you're absolutely right. All business is about relationships, and we like to deal with people that we know and trust, and know that they will give honest answers to the questions that we ask. So, you know, that for that reason, we use Holt JCB to give us that guidance and advice so that we can change when we need to.
And so here we are, folks. I love coming onto waste sites because what we're doing here is we're recycling the stuff that we're throwing away, but we're doing it in the right way for the environment. And we're doing it with a fleet that is efficient and well looked after. So even keeping things going for a lot longer, folks, is better for the environment than just simply having to change things out. Reliability, super important here, 24-hour shifts when it gets super busy, and also those operators and the comfort that they feel into the machines. And so it's great to be here today. Thanks very much for your time.
Thanks very much.
Better get crushing, better get screening and sorting. Let's go, folks, come on.
Okay.